Well, hey there guys, I'm Axel the Beast, and this is the Curiosity Shop, the ZeldaEngine.net video mailbag where I answer your Zelda questions. And we're going to be focusing on Link Between Worlds this week because we can. So our first question comes from LightswordMan97. What kind of items besides the ones we have seen in the screenshots do you think will return in Link Between Worlds? Besides them? I don't know, not many. Like, I think, honestly, most of the items that we get are going to be tied to the rental mechanic, which we've seen in the shop for, so we know what pretty much all the items are. There might be some other stuff, like, I don't know, we'll probably see the flippers again, because they've shown the Zora. Come on, the Zoras are going to give you the flippers. And, you know, there might be stuff like the lantern. There might be some items that we get either as part of the main plot, such as the bracelet that lets you turn into drawings, and, you know, other things like that, that will be part of the main plot, or will be maybe require the rental items to get, but otherwise will be, you know, detached from the rental mechanic. But really, I think mostly it's going to be the rental shop stuff, Ravio's shop. So, you know, you've got the ice rod, the fire rod, bombs, bow, hammer, boomerang, hook shot, and that item that I guess is new, unless they think that's supposed to be the whirlwind. And it looks like there's another item that's already rented or something, and it looks like it might be one of the canes, but I can't really tell what it's supposed to be. Maybe it's a third rod or something. I don't know. But, yeah, I really think it's mostly going to be the items that are in the rental shop. There might be a few other than that. Certainly there will be, I think, but not too many. Bop asks, it's been revealed that we'll be able to tackle dungeons in any order in Link Between Worlds. Does this mean we can enter any dungeon we want, or do we have to get the right item to access certain dungeons? Well, it does seem like, for the most part, the order you can do the dungeons in is tied to the rental mechanic. I mean, yeah, you can do them in any order, but you still have to go get the items. So it's sort of both, I guess. It does definitely look like you're gonna have to get certain items to get into dungeons, because at least one of the dungeons we saw was clearly labeled with signs that said you have to get the spinny whirlwind item thingy. Which I think is kind of lame, just clearly labeling the dungeons. I think they could have done that better and a little more interesting. But, yeah, it does look like it'll require certain items, and so you can do them in any order, but you have to get the right item first. I suspect there will be some parts of the game that are still gated by the plot or items that aren't actually rented. So there's probably going to be some of that, but for the most part it looks like it's going to be pretty pliable according to just what items you get and what order. Spec asks, in Link to the Past, there were soldiers that served as enemies and attacked you. In the game, it says that the reason they are attacking you is because they are under Aghanim's curse, but in the demo for A Link Between Worlds, the soldiers are yet again seen attacking you. If the story is different in A Link Between Worlds, then they shouldn't be under any curse and shouldn't be attacking. So why are they? This has been, like, totes bugging me for a long time. Well, let it bug you no more, because, well, actually, I don't have a good answer for you. Like, we don't know the story of Link Between Worlds. Yeah, it's going to have a different story than A Link to the Past. That doesn't mean certain details aren't going to line up, so, like, unless that was just beta stuff and those soldiers aren't going to show up in the game, there's a reason why they're attacking me. Obviously, they could be corrupted again. Maybe this whole mirror world thing has, it's not like the monarchy is corrupted, but some of the soldiers have been pitted against you because they've been corrupted. I mean, you can come up with a billion explanations. Maybe those are fake soldiers from the dark otherworld place. There's a lot of other things they could do. It could be mirroring the same plot. Maybe the monarchy is in trouble and the soldiers have been corrupted and turned against you. Maybe Link is wanted and falsely accused. It could be anything. So yeah, that plot detail is clearly going to come back in some shape or form, even if the cause is different. You know, we don't know the story. Doesn't mean the story isn't similar. Little Miss Gleek asks, who do you think Hilda is, and what relation do you think she has to Zelda and/or the Dark World? Do you have any theories about this? Like, I don't really know. Like, she's clearly like an evil Zelda. Well, not an evil Zelda, a dark Zelda. Like, she's got everything about Zelda. Honestly, she looks exactly the same. She is Zelda. She just has black hair. They called her Hilda, and she's got the upside-down Triforce in her staff. She may or may not be evil. I don't really know what they're going with this other world. I definitely think there's going to be a lot of evil people in there. I mean, it's going to be mimicking the Dark World if it's not the Dark World itself, so there's going to be, like, tons of monsters and stuff. So I suspect that there's going to be some dark influence. It didn't necessarily look like she was totally evil, but then again, her face didn't look too nice either, so I don't know. I don't really have any particular theories about her. I think she's going to be connected to this, the other world's monarchy, or kingdom, like they've talked about. But in what capacity and what that kingdom's nature is, I really don't know. I don't know what they're going with this game. Cole Kanata asks, in the Nintendo Direct when they were showing off the game, there's a scene where Link is standing in a dark void talking to a Zelda lookalike, but with black hair and a staff with an upside-down Triforce named Hilda. Yes. And do you think this is hinting towards there being an evil Zelda and Link along with a light Ganon in this new world, and the game being about opposites, because it's never been called the Dark World, just the Other World? You know, it's possible. I'm inclined to think it's really just the Dark World, and there's some new lore they're inventing with that wasn't covered in Link's past. So, I don't know. I sort of suspect this Hilda maybe just be a good guy. Maybe she's a Triforce Guardian. However, the idea of opposites, whether it's the Dark World or some new, completely, almost exactly the same looking world, you know, that's an interesting idea. And the idea of opposite, like an opposite Link, opposite Zelda, opposite Ganon, is an intriguing one. I don't know if, like, again, I don't know the plot details, so I don't know if that's the story they'd be doing with this. I did come up with that idea for a fan game once, where it was a mirror world. You never went there in the game, but or in the prospective game, but yeah, there was a good Ganon and an evil Link and evil Zelda. So I guess I could say I think it's a pretty cool idea. Like I don't know. It just seems like they would keep those characters a little tied to their archetypes. I really suspect this Hilda's probably not an evil person. So I don't know. We'll see. Squidlips asks, "Hey Axel, I just wanted to know what your thoughts were on some of the new characters from Link Between Worlds, specifically Hilda and the new clown villain and what looks like to be Link's mother, father, and little brother. What role do you think they will play, and what do you honestly think this new villain, and what is the significance of his new weapon and the upside-down Triforce on his robe?" Well, I've already discussed Hilda. As for that little family, I doubt they're related to Link. I guess they could be, you know, like, that would be interesting. Link has a freaking mother and father and little brother. That would be a first, and it would be interesting to see. Unless, of course, that's his aunt and uncle and, like, cousin, you know. that would be the Nintendo thing to do in this case. As for the villain, like, I did an article about this, so I'm not going to go too deep into it. You can check the front page of Zelda Dungeon, or I'll link to it in the description. Like, I honestly think, like, he looks a ton like Girahim, like, a ton. But he also has a lot of similarities to Ganondorf, and I feel like this could be like the first serious redesign where more than his clothing was changed, you know, since Ocarina of Time. Like, every other redesign is just mostly his clothes. It's sort of the same dude. This could be the first time they totally redesigned him. That's just his human form. He probably still looks like a pig in the Dark World or whatever. Or it could be some new character. I feel like, you know, I guess I keep saying this, Dark Tribe related. Maybe, like, there's my little theory, paranoia thing going on again. But obviously, I think the Dark like the Upside Down Triforce relates to this other Dark World and the Black Triforce seen on the logo. But again, like there's only so much I can speculate about that because they haven't revealed too many details about the game. I'm inclined to think it indicates connection to Demise because that guy was clearly evil. But at the same time, if Hilda has it, and I'm suspecting that Hilda may be good, I don't really know what to say. Like, so some people have the Upside Down Triforce, but they're good, but some people are evil. I don't really know. Maybe he's a fake, maybe he's an Aghanim figure. Like, he's a fake dude who's pretending to be good and just overthrows the monarchy of either the Light World or perhaps even Hilda's, like, kingdom in this Dark World or whatever. Perhaps he takes over there and turns that place evil. Again, I can only speculate. I think he's going to be very much like a Kefka-like villain, because he really does look like a clown. He'd be like Kefka from Final Fantasy VI, just this maniacal but kind of dark-humored, funny dude, sort of. But still totally the villain. I don't know. Deku Scrub asks, "Do you have a theory on Sahasrahla's continued existence, considering he should be dead by this point in the timeline?" My theory is that is his descendant. There you go. There's my theory. Like, he can't be him unless they're doing like I'm such an old guy that I'm like 300 years old and I am wise kind of thing. Like, he's probably just a guy with the same name who's descended from him. Like, that's the only reasonable explanation. Elijah Moet Larson asks, Do you think the Majora's Mask in the shop in Link Between Worlds is a hint that Nintendo will make a remake for it soon, or is it just a friendly little Easter egg? I don't really think it indicates anything. I think it's just an Easter egg. Maybe they put that there specifically, simply because there was so much attention on Majora's Mask recently, so maybe that's part of it. I don't think it really indicates anything. I mean, if they're gonna make it, I don't think they're gonna, like, foreshadow it by putting the item into another game. I just don't see that. I mean, Majora's Mask is a recognizable item, so it makes sense. And Ravio is a shady little looking dude, so putting him in Majora's Mask as the Easter egg in his shop, I don't know. I think it makes sense, so yeah. I think it's just an Easter egg. Himte asks, seeing as Link Between Worlds has been confirmed as being a non-linear open world, Maybe you could clear something up that's been bugging me for a while. Why do you think people have such a near obsession with non-linearity in video games? Personally, part of the reason I play video games is to experience the story, and I feel that linearity results in a more coherent story. Well, I disagree there because I think that argument, the linearity is needed to make a good story, is kind of like the cheap way out, the easy way out. Because I think that you can tell a great story with just a little bit of work in a non-linear game. I don't think that it just takes a little more effort. I don't think you automatically have a worse story. For me, like, there are games that should be linear. Like, there's no question about that. But I just don't feel like Zelda is that, because Zelda is an adventure game. The first Zelda was basically a free-roaming experience where you could just go around the world and check things out, and just explore and find these items that you need to complete the main game. You had a lot of control over the game, and you really felt like you were in the role of Link. And I feel like that's a great thing to have in a game like this, where you can really, you're on an adventure, and yeah, there's a story going on, but you really feel like you're in the role of the adventurer, and you can control like where you go, what you do, and how you approach the world. And I feel like in a game like Zelda, that's a really important thing to have. And I don't think it needs to come at the expense of story, but I really do like that you can have some control and you can explore the world in your order. Because if you're following like a set of rails, like a linear game, it doesn't feel as much like you're exploring. It doesn't feel like you're finding things. It feels like you're being led to see things, like a roller coaster or like a sightseeing tour bus. Whereas if you're like really in control of where you go and how you do things, it really is more like you're really finding your way, and I think it's a really cool feeling. Alright guys, that's it for this time. Be sure to send your questions to the contact information in the description, and I'll see you guys later.